4 years ago, I began dating my boyfriend. During our first year together, I failed a critical, career-defining exam. Mortified, I confided in him, only for him to share the news with his mother. Though she was polite about it, I felt my trust had been deeply breached. It was my private information to share, and I desperately wanted to make a good impression on her. My boyfriend has since apologized and truly understands his mistake, and his mother hasn't brought it up since. For the first couple of years, she was wonderful to me. However, because I had a troubled home life, I eventually brought up the idea of moving to the south to escape my mother. Almost immediately after I suggested moving, his mother began charging him over $1,000 a month in rent, a fee his sisters never had to pay, despite living at home later into adulthood. Around this same time, my boyfriend began spending nearly every day at my house. He was barely even at his mother's house to utilize the space he was renting. Understanding that she likely missed him, I encouraged him to call and check in, instead of warm updates. Every conversation degenerated into a demand for rent. To this day, she still tracks his location through an app. Even though he is a 21-year-old man, he often mentions that she was his best friend growing up. Recently, I planned his birthday party at a nice hibachi restaurant, thinking I was doing his family a favor. During the planning phase, I asked his mother for a head count. She specified only herself, his father, and one sister. On the day of the dinner, his sister seemed upset that her own boyfriend hadn't been included. When she asked if he could join, I immediately agreed, wondering why his mother hadn't just requested his inclusion in the first place. But the main issue arose when we sat down. Because I live with post-traumatic stress disorder, I always sit with my back to a wall to feel comfortable. I chose my seat right next to my boyfriend, but his mother immediately instructed me to get up and move down the table. She banished me to a cramped corner with barely enough room to eat. She then took the bottle of wine I had brought for the group and held it hostage by her side, forcing me to ask her permission every single time I wanted a glass of my own wine. I sat there incredibly uncomfortable, my back exposed, unable to even use a glass of wine to ease my anxiety. A friend later suggested this was a deliberate power move. She had displaced me from a spot where I was already settled just to sit closer to him. While she technically thanked me for planning the evening, her actions felt incredibly passive-aggressive. Everyone at the table grew tense. Weeks later, I tried to extend an olive branch by texting her a photo of my boyfriend riding a dirt bike near our house, just a quick, harmless loop to test the engine. She replied with a single word, "Helmet?"